With Ketu being the denier, the negator, and Venus being the biggest giver, the combination between Ketu and Venus can be a very interesting mix between what you get and what you don't.
Please like my videos, please subscribe to my channel, and please press the bell icon so that you get to know when my latest video has come. And to learn more and to find a video relevant to you, please do check out my videos list.
Hello, namaskar and adab to all my friends from your friend astrologer and guide Irfan, once more with you from your very own channel, Astro Channels. In the series that we're doing of planets from planets, we have already started the series of planets from Ketu. So today in the line of planets from Ketu, we are going to do a very important entity, which is Venus. Now, on one hand, Venus and Ketu are in the same box, in the same realm, because Venus is the leader of the Danavas. Ketu also falls amongst the Danavas. However, Venus is the biggest giver. It gives you luxuries, it gives you good quality of life, it gives you love, it gives you intimacy, it gives you riches. Whereas Ketu is the denier, the negator. Ketu makes it very difficult for you to be able to get the results from the house that it sits in, the sign that it sits in, and the planet status conjunct with, and to an extent where it also aspects. So obviously this is not an important placement of Ketu being somewhere for financial perspective. However, when Venus goes in different houses from Ketu, it definitely brings in a different dynamic, because Venus wants to give, Ketu wants to deny. In some positions from Venus, from Ketu, Venus's placement can be a bigger giver, and in some cases not so big a giver, in fact a denier. So let's jump in and see in which houses placed from Ketu Venus will give you different results from. So what happens when Venus and Ketu are one with each other, or Venus and Ketu are conjunct? Ketu is the biggest negator, denier, separator, reducer, and it requires you to put in high effort to be able to get results out of Ketu. However, Ketu also makes it easier for you to get results of a house when it is placed well. Then it makes you less competitive also there, but it also gives you less entity or less power to struggle, less energy for struggle also, whether it's for leadership or happen within yourself, and makes you less demanding on the other hand. And this is a placement where Ketu is, it's easier to make peace with the results of that house, though internally there is always this feeling that I'm not getting enough, that I'm being negated, I'm being denied. So when Venus is conjunct with Ketu, though I have made a more detailed video of this, but now because we are doing the series, so when Venus and Ketu get together, Ketu is reducing the power, the entity of Venus. Ketu says that intimacy or love or romance only for the sake of the benefits of the flesh are not so important, are not so good. You need to be able to use that to be able to give. So this is also a placement where you have to give in a relationship rather than seek, because Venus is also intimacy, Venus is also romance. So Ketu says, till you are ready to give in intimacy, in romance, be with your partner, treat the partner very well, till then the feeling that I've really achieved something in life will be denied to you, even when the financial success may be given to you. So financially you may be better off, you may not be very rich. Usually Ketu with Venus will deny huge riches, and you will have periods in between where you will not get enough, or you may be out of work, or your business may be down. That will also happen. This also makes you periods in between where you are denied romance, you are denied intimacy also. One of this could also be your own failing, because you have always wanted to take in the relationship rather than give, or even that you are carrying a very strong negative karma, because of which you're being denied, because you're not given enough, you're not given back enough. Now, if other planetary placements, especially with respect to relationship, the 5th house, the 7th house are not so very good, then the 9th house becomes important, especially in the Navamsa, because then it also gives you a chance of a second relationship, a better relationship, if you have learned what the Srishti, the zodiac, is demanding of you. So this is a placement where certain things will surely be tougher to be given to you. Certain times it so happens that you have this feeling that I should be in a relationship, I should be giving, or I should be in a relationship. And when you're looking forward to the relationship, you'll find that you're more upbeat, you're more positive. Sometimes the insecurity may also be there because Ketu is trying to deny you, keep you away from romance, from being in a relationship. Ketu says, no, that is not good. You are very happy, you're peaceful within yourself. So Ketu is denying you, keeping you away from the Venus entities. But you'll find that when you are looking forward to that, you're more upbeat, you're more happy. And if you are truly like somebody, if you are truly in love with somebody, or if you are with somebody, then, and if the relationship is good, nothing can keep you more happy. In fact, you may not need anything at all, because Ketu is of also that there are certain basics in life. If I get, I'll be happier. So this is that kind of a placement. On the other hand, Venus and Ketu together also means only a certain degree of money or the good life you'll be able to achieve, or you'll be able to enjoy. Beyond that, you may not be able to enjoy. So for example, you may have lots of money, but once you feel that I have a good enough house, I have a good enough car, I have a good enough lifestyle, then you will not be very flamboyant. You'll not go over the top. You buy huge bungalows, buying 2, 3, 4 properties, going on a world tour, buy all golds and diamonds and all. You will not be attracted to that. Similarly, this is also a placement where cheating somebody becomes very, very difficult. So it's usually, unless it's very, very bad placement, Ketu wants to deny you the relationship, and other placements also not so good, Rahu is not well placed, then what happens here? Yes, specifically I'm meaning, if Ketu and Venus are together, Rahu will obviously be in the opposite house. But if Rahu is not placed well, it's in a bad dosha, it's in a bad sign, it's with a debilitated planet, aspect of Saturn, something like that, then what it does is it doesn't allow you to get into a relationship, and sometimes it may also give you a bad name in society, because of which people may not want to be with you, may not want to get close to you, or it creates misunderstanding. Sometimes you misunderstand the other person. Either it creates the insecurity in your mind that somebody is always after my money, somebody is always after trying to take advantage of me. So this feeling of insecurity that somebody is out to get me also stops you from getting into a relationship or doing well. This may also stop you from not being able to enjoy the benefits of the quality of life with somebody. If you are in seclusion because you are more happy by yourself, you are not able to live with somebody. This also may take away, depending on which house it is, the best results of that. So Ketu and Venus, for example, in the 5th house may not only take away the romance from you, but may also take away the ability to be able to perform in performing arts, for example. If it's in the 9th house, you may want to go and you may want to travel, but the wanderlust may not be there. You will have to struggle to get out of home. You may want to do it, but you don't like the struggle of booking tickets, doing this, so you want to keep away. So overall, this is a yin and yang. So here you need to learn to balance. You need to allow Ketu its due for Venus to be able to get the better results. So Venus and Ketu are one with each other, or together with each other, conjunct with each other. The simple mantra should be that you are able to understand what Venus means in your horoscope. What is Venus asking you to do? How you need to be in the relationship, how you need to balance the relationship, how you can be a little more giving, so that the coming back together or the return part of it is also good enough for you. Now, when Venus is in the 2nd house from Ketu, as we know that Ketu is a denier, it denies you results, it reduces the results of the house that it is placed in, the sign that it is placed in, and the planet that it is conjunct with. So Ketu being the denier, wherever Ketu is, it will deny you the results of that house, the sign, absolutely, or to a large extent. Now when Venus goes into the 2nd house from Ketu, what does the 2nd house mean? 2nd house is your values, your integrity, your tribe, your dependence, your community, your earnings, your livelihood. But what is Venus? Venus is your ability to be able to attract the goodness of life, the good quality of life, the pleasures of life, the romance, the intimacy, the love that you get from the opposite gender, nourishment, luck in finances. So the good life, the good love, all is what Venus represents. So when it goes into the second house from Ketu, any planet in any house, second house from a planet, shows the earning from the planet. But Ketu is a denier. So here Ketu is putting some stringent rules on Venus. So Ketu is saying, I will allow you the gains from the second house where you are placed in. For example, if Ketu is in the Lagna, Venus is in the second house, Venus is in the house of earnings. So Ketu says, I will allow you those earnings as long as you are somebody who carries yourself with a lot of values and integrity rather than tries to shortchange or shortcut. And if it's in the second house, then also take care of your dependents, take care of your community, try and save some money, don't be flamboyant, don't splurge, then only I'll give you money. So it says, understand the value, respect wherever Venus is placed, respect that so that I'll be able to give you more and be more giving in that relationship. So be more giving to the community, be more giving to your tribe, be more giving to your family, be more giving to the dependents, then only I'll be able to give you back. And Ketu is also saying save, keep a perspective of saving, putting some money away for a rainy day. Don't want to splurge. Some good quality of life will always be given to you. But this is also placement where you will always have some or the other struggle for money. So for example, whichever job, however big a brand you will be working in, you'll always feel that I'm getting slightly lesser than the others. I'm not being able to get the promotion, the growth, the recognition, the appreciation as much as others. So yeah, this is a slightly tougher placement for being able to get huge financial success, huge success in love, huge success in being able to create a lot of bank balance and equity. So this is surely not an easy placement from the money perspective. But from the values perspective, it says if you are able to keep your values and if you're able to nourish your dependents, it can make you somebody who has a very polished, refined language also. Whichever language you talk in, it will give you a lot of refined language. You'll be more careful. On the other hand, this is not something in between. You are extremes. Either you'll talk very nicely, you will talk carefully, you will be nice to people, soft to people. Even when you're angry with people, you will not blow your top up. You will be very balanced. But on the other hand, it can give you a very bad language. You can speak some absolutely foul language and you may not be able to control your temperament. You may not be able to control your language also. So this is surely it gives you. So overall, Venus in the second house from Ketu can give you surely a chance to be able to get more out of life as long as you are able to balance the Ketu energies and keep a more simplistic approach to love, to romance, to bank balance, to spending rather than splurging. Now Venus, when it goes into the third house from Ketu, what is the third house? The third house is the house of communication, general communication, not only the language part, but overall how you're communicating, your gestures, your postures, your non-verbal language, how you're marketing yourself, how you're branding yourself, your self-enterprise, what are you able to get out of your own effort. This is also a house of influencing others. It is also a house of conveying, teaching, consulting, advising others. And this is also a house of use of limbs, the third house. So any house that Ketu is placed in, when Venus goes into the third house from there, Ketu being the biggest denier, communication related to that house, results of that house, whatever the house is the Karaka of, there you will find there are more struggles in being able to communicate what you actually want to communicate. Many times this could also be a cause of miscommunication or misunderstanding. However, Ketu is also to a certain extent the change bringer. It is also status quo changer. So Ketu says when you're talking to somebody, say for example, if you're in sales or in marketing, if you're looking at the other person's benefit first, if you are a washing machine salesperson at an electronics store, somebody comes into your shop, you will not sell them the most expensive washing machine. You will ask them questions. How big is your family? How often do you wash clothes? What kind of clothes do you wear? Blah, blah, blah. You will get all the details and then you'll recommend to them the best washing machine. You may even tell them that whether there are challenges in the washing machine, have there been complaints. You will not just want to be a salesperson and want your commission. You will actually be a proper advisor. So when you do that, when you take care of the other person's needs before yours, then Ketu can be the biggest giver. and you will not even know where you are getting the money from. You're buying a house without knowing whether you'll be able to buy a house or not. With just the intention, you'll find that the sources automatically come in. So Ketu is a giver where you are ready to be a giver also for the other party, other perspective. What else is Venus? Venus is also your romance. This is also your attraction. This is also a good quality of life. So when Venus goes into the third house from Ketu, if you are really ready to work very hard, ready to use your limbs, ready to work hard with your hands, not just sitting in a place working on your computer, but actually doing some labor. For example, if you're in marketing, not try to sit at one place, use the phone and contact people. Go out and meet people. Pick up the phone and talk to people instead of sending them email. So put in slightly more effort than you're ready to do. So when you push the boundaries, when you push the envelope, then the effort that you're putting in, because the third house is also the house of effort, then you get better results. This is also a placement where sometime in your life, you'll always think that rather that I work for somebody else, why don't I work for myself? So there will be this urge. If you have very good placements for business, for self-enterprise, if you go that way, you'll find it is easier for you after some initial struggles, because Ketu is also struggles. So after some initial struggles, if you are working on your own, you're doing something on your own, but you're always trying to look at the other person's perspective, then you get very good success. You get good name. You get a lot of business or work through word of mouth. You don't need to spend too much money on advertisements or put big billboards or all. By word of mouth, because you've treated people very well, people will reach out to you and people will say, oh, I heard about you from the other person, other party. I want to work with you. So this is what Venus in the third house from Ketu will give you. So it is overall a good placement. You're getting more success out of your efforts. You get good quality of life from your efforts. You, if you work on your communication, you think of the other person, then you can have a very balanced communication. This can give you a very good, make you a good teacher of the arts. First of all, you yourself do very well in arts, and you can also communicate or teach arts also on online. This can also make you a very good social media entrepreneur also, as long as you're ready to put in the hard work. Now, when Venus goes into the fourth house from Ketu, what is the fourth house? Fourth house is your assets, your domestic life, your happiness, your peace. It is also your mother. It is also your heart, your emotion, your empathy, life's conveniences. So the fourth house is one of the most important houses in the horoscope. In fact, I consider it to be even more important than the Lagna, the most important house, because what is important in life? Happiness, peace, tranquility, good home life, good domestic life, good family, some assets surely, where you have the security that I have a house, I've got conveniences, I've got my vehicles, whatever. So these are the most basic things, but these are the ones which keep you the most happy. So somebody who has a very good fourth house, generally, you will find that they tend to be lesser unhappy than others, unless the fourth house is really, really in jeopardy. So good fourth house can override many of other things. For example, a good fourth house can override even some unhappiness of the Lagna. For example, even if you don't keep very good health, which comes from the Lagna, not from the fourth house, in spite of that, even with a weak constitution, you may be taking medications and all that, but yet in your domestic life, you may be happy, you may be peaceful. So very, very important, the fourth house. So when the Venus goes into the fourth from Ketu, now whichever house Ketu may be placed, whichever house Venus may be placed, but if Venus goes fourth from Ketu, so in the results of that house, the ability to make more conveniences, get more happiness from that house, get more peace from that house, get more tranquility from that house, or enjoy that house with your family in your domestic life becomes difficult, because the fourth house from Ketu is that what results you are getting from your domestic life. So for example, if Venus is in the ninth house and Ketu is in the sixth house, the ninth house is the house of long distance travel. So here, traveling with your family, traveling with your loved one becomes slightly more difficult than some other placement. So Venus going into the fourth house from Ketu means you'll have to work that much more harder to be able to make assets connected to that house. So if Venus is in the fifth, Ketu is in the second house, for example, Venus is in the fourth from Ketu, then making gains from speculative investments, from stock market and all becomes difficult. So you need to be able to not think about huge gains. If you put money away for long term, like mutual funds or something, then because you're ready to wait, you're ready to show the patience, then it gives you more results. Same thing in your domestic life, same thing about peace, happiness, tranquility. Ketu says, unless you're ready to work and be more giving in your domestic life to your family members, then only I'll give you the results. Sometimes it may not give you the best of results from your mother. Many times Venus going in 4th house from Ketu may also deny the love from the mother. Care from the mother will be there because it is the 4th house. But Venus is about love. So the love that you are able to get from the mother may not be as much as your siblings. Or you may always feel there is something left back. If you love your mother a lot, if you have good relations, then sometimes what happens, it creates distance, even physical distance, or you are in a different country, or you're working so hard, or mother's working, or she's very busy. So it creates that environment where you're not able to get the best results out of that. So same thing in your domestic life. In your love life also, it may create some distance, not because you don't love each other, but there may be some distance sometimes in life, especially if you're not a giving partner, if you're not taking care of your loved ones. So on the whole, this will make you work hard for getting assets, for making money, putting money away for a long term, for a rainy day. And it will also make you struggle a little bit to get the most happiness and peace and tranquility. In general, Venus 4th from Ketu can give you the easier life in terms of being at peace and happiness when you're more giving. You're not trying to save money, you're not trying to do. Of course, we take care of some savings, you put some money away long term, you make some investments. But in general, you're peaceful with what you have. Then Ketu will bring more peace. If you are always wanting more material gains and you're always chasing material gain, then this is a tough placement. So here, it's also placement where you need to make some peace with the placement and be more giving and be more happier. So this is a placement overall, I'll say, as a placement of gratitude. The more gratitude you feel towards whatever you have in life, even while you're trying to get more, then you get very good results when Venus gets into the 4th house from Ketu. Now, when Venus is in the 5th house from Ketu, what is the 5th house? The 5th house is your education. 5th house is your romance. 5th house is your interest. 5th house is the upheavals. 5th house is also the house of speculative investments. It is also the house of power, children, media, performances. So this is one of the very important houses also in the horoscope. From specifically gaining out of speculative investment, children results, romance, intimacy that you get, and education. And to gain power. The 5th house is also the 8th to the 10th house. So many of the changes in your career are also shown or come to the 5th house. So when Venus goes into the 5th house from Ketu, so yeah, because Ketu is a denier, Ketu is a separator, Ketu is a reducer, Ketu is a negator, Ketu denies or reduces or separates you, the results of the house that it sits in, what planet is conjuncted, the sign that it is placed in. So when Venus goes into the 5th house from Ketu, so here Ketu says that unless you are ready to be able to be more giving in your romance, in your intimacy, in education, you try to get education to do something more for society, not for your self gains. Many a times if you see children when they are growing up, parents will advise them, you go in this particular industry or you go in that stream, then you'll make a lot of money. Rather than that, when you shape children that you are good at this, you take up this particular competence that God has given you, Zodiac has given you, or you have worked hard, and then try and get higher education because you're good at that subject, you will do very well, but use that to do more for society, to be more giving. Then Ketu gives you results. In fact, this could be one of the very good placements for performances. I've seen a lot of actors, rather than for self-glory, when they're looking at, if you are in a scene with 2 or 3 other actors, and you're trying to see how the scene can be good, not that I outshine the other colleagues of mine or other co-actors of mine, but how can this scene be good? What should you say? What should be your punchline? What should be mine? How should you react? How will I give the facial expression so that the overall scene is made good, not that I steal a march over you? Then Ketu will give you very good results. So people who can be very good in drama, people who can be very good in performances, as long as they're trying to make the scene good, the movie good, the what overall they're giving back to the audience good, then it can give you very good results. This placement is also a placement where Ketu, sometime in your life, especially in certain important dashas and antardashas connected to the 5th house, connected to Ketu, connected to Venus, connected to your 10th house, even connected to the Lagna, the dasha, antardasha of such planets. What it may do is it may give you this feeling, why don't I do something of my own, or why don't I invest in, or why don't I create more assets? It may create that interest in you. Or it may also tell you that let me try something else rather than what I'm doing. Because the 5th house is the 8th house from the 10th house. So when those things get activated, you may also get a feeling that let me do something different rather than what I'm doing. So this is a placement where at the right time, you may also try something different. But try and do something different for creativity, to give back, to improve performances rather than only for self-gain. This is also a placement where however love and romance you show to the other person, many times you don't get as much back. Sometimes even if you get that, the feeling that you have is that I'm not getting enough back from my partner. I'm not getting enough attention. I'm not getting enough interest from my partner. So there is always this gap between me and the partner. Partner is not giving me enough. Same thing you may also feel about children later on in life, where children grow up, children get too busy in their lives, children are busy in their education, children are busy in extracurricular activities, children are out with their friends, or sometimes children may also go long distance for their studies later on for work. So sometimes this also gives you as getting less back from your children, back from your progeny also. So overall, Venus in the 5th house from Ketu makes you work hard for results of children, for results of romance, for results connected to your career also. Unless you are thinking about the other person, what does the other person want? What does my boss want? What does the business want? What does my department want? What do my people want? What do my audience want? Then this can be a placement where over a period of time, working very hard, thinking about the others, you get spectacular results. Now when Venus is in the 6th house from Ketu, what is Ketu? Ketu is a denier supreme, separator, reducer, negator supreme. But what is the 6th house is all about? 6th house is the house of service, competition, sickness, debts, loans, court cases, serving under somebody else, doing a job for somebody else rather than working on your own. This is also a house of daily chores that you do, daily activities. This is also a house of inimical forces who are working behind your back. This may also be to a certain extent a house of poor sexual life, because this is the 12th house from the 7th house. But what is Venus? Venus is romance, attraction, good quality of life, nourishment, luck in finances, money, living it up, intimacy. So when Venus goes into the 6th house from Ketu, here you get a feeling that there is always some competition from others in what you are trying to get. There is always somebody who's competing. So in college, you like somebody else also likes that person. So you're competing with the other person for attention of this special person that you like. Later on in life, when you want growth, you want recognition, there is somebody else also who's competing, or there are inimical forces behind your back or putting you down. So you are looking at the promotion. Other person may not be vying for the promotion, but the person doesn't like you. The person may be from your same team, the person may be your boss, the person may be from some other department. But you'll always find somebody is always trying to put your work down, try to find fault in your work, try to find fault in you. This will also happen. Sometimes what happens with this placement is the last moment. For example, you need to go for an interview, important interview, you fall sick. You have to sit for a very important exam, you fall sick. Or you feel less motivated, you don't find strength within yourself, you have this fear, I may fail. Though you're prepared very well, you create this fear out of nowhere. And then you don't go in with all that strong motivation and you don't do very well. Sometimes it may happen, you may prepare very well for an exam, but on the day of the exam, you feel as if you'd remember nothing, everything is lost, everything is just gone. It creates that. So yeah, this is a slightly tougher placement where somewhere in some way, Ketu is trying to deny the results of that house, where Venus is placed from Ketu. Specifically, you're talking about the 6th house here. This is also placement where there may be, in your daily activities, you'll have to struggle a little bit more than the others. So if you are trying to catch a bus, you miss the bus, you have to wait for the other bus. If you're trying to book tickets, it's not so easy. However, what it does is, it makes you very disciplined. It makes you somebody who's very disciplined in your work, because you feel being organized means less work, less effort. Being planned means I don't have to run for my for my bus or for my train. You will always leave home on time. You will keep your things ready. At night, you will keep everything ready, so that in the morning when you get up, you find everything in the right place. This is also placement where you will find that if you're more giving, specifically in the intimacy part, it's not just love or romance, saying I love you. This is about the bed pleasures. If you are not more giving, then you don't receive enough. And many times you feel less satisfied in your sexual pleasure also, because Venus is in the 6th house from Ketu. The other thing is, if you are in a relation with somebody who has already been in a relationship with somebody else earlier, then you have this feeling that this person get more intimacy or more love or romance from the other partner that the person was with before me. So you're always trying to, at your back of your mind, was the other person better than me? So in your deep down, subconsciously, you'll always feel this. Other thing is, you also find sometimes that the person that you are with is trying to compare you with somebody else. So this is also in your mind, which keeps up coming from every now and then. However, this is one of the best placements for service, because this is a service-oriented placement. So when Venus goes into the 6th house from Ketu, if you're very giving in your love, romance, intimacy, you get the best returns. If you're very wanting to serve others, wanting to serve society, then you'll find name, fame, recognition comes to you, awards come to you. If you're more giving in your department, if you're more giving to your fellow team members, you'll find they will also reciprocate after some time. If you're more giving to your boss, where you are trying to work hard for the boss, put up your hand for the boss, trying to make your boss shine, then the recognition, the promotion, the growth come for you. So this is surely a placement of initial little struggle, initial giving, but good results later. Only thing which you need to be very careful about is taking loans or getting into debts. If you get into debts with this placement, where you take a lot more than you can chew, then getting out of this debt becomes very difficult. Sometimes you remain in debts almost through your life. So if Venus is in the 6th house from Ketu, try to be more giving in your service, try to be more giving to your partner, but also try to have a perspective of not wanting to compete too much, trying to work on your relations with people, making up with people if you find there is animosity. Then you'll find the competition is less, the challenges are less, and specifically from a working under somebody, serving under somebody, this can be one of the best placements. Now when Venus is in the 7th house from Ketu, now this is a placement where you'll find that because Venus is in the 7th house from Ketu, which means Venus is placed with Rahu. Now, what is the 7th house about? 7th house is the house about relations, connections, teamwork, business, balance, married life, expectations. This is also the loss of the 8th house. And Ketu is in the opposite house from Venus. So Ketu is denying you results of relations to the extent that you want, because now Rahu is conjunct with Venus. So Rahu gives you the hunger, Ketu is the denier. Then what happens? So in results of intimacy, love, affection, business, market, 7th house is also the house of market. You will find that you are able to extract less results than what you expect, what you want. So I have also seen this placement many times. You may be getting very good results or decent results compared to the others in the same business, yet you are trying to compete with the best in the business. So because of which you may not be getting as much results, so at least satisfaction as you should be able to get. Now because Venus is with Rahu, Ketu is in the opposite house, this also makes you attracted towards people more than you should be in the same league. So sometimes somebody may be very beautiful, very attractive, very accomplished, doing very well in life, and you are aspiring to be with that person or wanting to be in love with the person, wanting to be with that person. That person doesn't look at you the same way. So what happens here is many times you're chasing the wrong people. rather than chase the people who will also be able to give you enough attention, enough standing also. Sometimes you may get somebody who's very accomplished, who's very beautiful, good looking, somebody who's doing very well in life. For a very short period of time, they may be together with you. However, they outgrow you very, very fast because they find you that you are struggling and they are very accomplished already. So for initial attraction, infatuation, whatever reason, circumstances, they may be with you for some time, but keeping such a romance, such a relationship for long, where the person is much more good looking than you, more accomplished than you, has a better social standing, it becomes very difficult. And this also creates you needs from the other partner, which sometimes may not be met. One need from your partner will surely not be met. If you want a very rich partner, sometimes you don't get that kind of a person. If you're looking at somebody who's very accomplished, competent partner, sometimes that is denied to you. If you're looking at a lot of love and romance, intimacy from your partner, sometimes that is denied. So one need which is there from your partner, it may deny. However, this may give you very good results long term. Ketu denies you unless you're giving. If you're more giving, if you're in business, you're thinking of your partner, you're thinking also of your customers, your clients, you're always thinking from their perspective. Venus and Rahu together, this can give you such fantastic results long term. So Venus says initially be giving, Rahu will give you 10 times more. So overall, this is a placement where initial struggle will surely be there. You have to be more giving. Somewhere in one or two things you will have to sacrifice, will not be given to that extent. But this is the placement of you upping the ante, which means you have to work really, really hard. But if you work really hard, you will find that the best sustained, most stable relations remain with you if you are able to keep the hunger, the greed of Rahu subdued and allow the Ketu to shine more. Now, when Venus is in the 8th house from Ketu, what is the 8th house? The 8th house is the house of upheavals, transformation, obstacles. But this is also the house of research, sudden events. It is also the house of mysteries, sexual organs, insurances, inheritances, other people's money also. So when Venus goes into the 8th house from Ketu, the upheaval, the transformation, obstacles of the house that Venus is placed in from Ketu also get activated. So here, without one upheaval, without one change, or sometimes 2 or 3 small gradual changes, some changes every now and then, without 3, 4, 5 changes or 1 or 2 big, huge upheavals, transformation, the results of that house may be denied to you. So for example, if Ketu is in the 2nd house, Venus is in the 9th house, 8th from Ketu, here you will find upheavals, transformations coming from long distance journeys, from your education. Sometime in your life, this epiphany may come to you that, okay, this is not what I want to do, I want to do something else. I found people getting high degrees in one industry and ending up doing something totally different because they feel, no, I don't want to do something in this industry. I may have a qualification here, but I want to do something else and something else. Or midstream, they have worked for 4 or 5 years, suddenly they'll change industry. Maybe an opportunity is given to you. Some change comes upon them, that happens. This is also a placement where in a relationship, because of your partner, there may be upheaval and transformation. Either in your love life, there is an upheaval and transformation suddenly, without warning. You will find that your relationship is suddenly going south, or the breakup happens so fast, sudden results that you don't know what hit you. Later on, when you sit down and you're thinking, then you may be able to see through the damages once this typhoon has hit you. But initially, you at sea, because this is also the house of mysteries. The mystery is revealed to you much later. Everybody else gets to know after you. And because it is the 8th house, you also find that without one big transformation upheaval, you're not able to get the best results from that. So either in a romance, you are with somebody, something happened, other person cheats, or you find somebody else better, something happened, the relationship breaks. You transform, it transforms your thinking. And after that, the next learning that, through the learning induced transformation that comes, you do better. Same thing happens in whichever house Venus is placed in, but you begin to look at things differently. You begin to think things deeper. You don't look at the superficial aspects of a relationship. You just don't look how good the person is, how rich the person is, how much well that person treats me, but you also look at what are the good qualities of the person, what are the sustaining qualities of the person, what are the stable qualities of the person that I need to or I should continue to be with this person. Other thing is, this is also a placement where inheritances come to you when you least expect them. For example, among 2 or 3 brothers or sisters, if you are the one who's always taking care of your parents, not thinking too much about inheritances, what you get, you will find that when the inheritance comes to you, you have to struggle the least, or the most inheritance comes to you also without too much effort. While others may also be looking at inheritance and waiting when the will be signed or parents will give up something to you in their life or after. This is also house of inheritances, as long as you have truly taken care of the person. This is also placement where people may work in the insurance industry, people may work for the government. Some research oriented work may also do very well for them. So if you are in an industry where you are doing research, you are doing audits, you're looking deep down, you're trying to salvage things, you're looking at finding data or finding results from something which is seemingly hidden, you get excellent results with this over a period of time. Sleuth-like work, government-like work brings you very, very good results. However, as I said, this is surely a placement of transformation. So on the love life, on the romance life, there will always be 1 or 2 setbacks before stable love comes to you. So if you are somebody who is in your late 20s, then you would have already gone through at least 1 or 2 transformations, 1 or 2 big failures in your love life and learned the lesson. And hopefully now you are with a better person. Now, if Venus goes in the 9th house from Ketu, this is a placement of huge learning, but change-induced learning, transformation-induced learning. What is the 9th house? The 9th house is the house of higher learning, higher qualification, learning through experiences, learning from gurus. So what this placement says is, if you are trying to get learning so that you are able to better your life and maybe one day give back, you are trying to imbibe more learning, you are trying to become a master in a subject, then you want to teach, for example, in an institute. This can make the best teachers. This can make you one of the best gurus. So if you are getting higher learning, higher qualification, it will be with struggles, surely. Ketu is the denier, Ketu is the separator, Ketu is the reducer. Ketu will make you work hard for your education and to get better results through your education, through your qualification. It won't be easy. First of all, getting higher qualification won't be easy. Getting into good institutes, universities won't be easy. After that, getting into the right breakthroughs or getting the right breaks, getting into the right brand, getting into the right companies, getting into the right organization won't be easy. You'll have to struggle. You'll have to really work hard. You'll have to slog before you end up in your so-called dream job. And when you're ready to learn, you will also be able to get more. This is also a placement where sometimes your love and romance you find through learning. For example, you either find your love partner through where you're studying or where you're getting high education, where you're getting high qualification, or later on in life when you're traveling or the person comes from some country or some distance far away from your place, from at least from where you were born. And this also connects you strongly at a thought process with your partner. So many times you find that what your belief systems are, what your thought processes are, how you look at life, many things are overlapped by your partner, because of which you like the person. So if you are somebody who is very optimistic, who's extrovert person, you want to go out, you want to enjoy life, a similar kind of partner you will always relish more, and you'll find that there is more stable relationship with that person. And this is a placement where you also want to have good long conversations about life, about experiences, about work with your partner. So when you are with somebody, when you come back home, when you're sitting with your partner, you want to discuss all that, you want to share, you want to learn, and you also want to share. So overall, this is a good placement where if you want to teach, if you want to give back to society, if you are trying to contribute, this can be a very good placement. And in your love life, in your romance life, this is one of the best placements for a very overall rounded relationship. Where this is not only about intimacy or only about romance or only about money, but this is about something larger perspective. This is also about learning. This is about helping each other grow. It is about also becoming better partners to each other. Now, when Venus goes into the 10th house from Ketu, what is Venus? Venus is your love life, your partner, your attraction, your good life, your nourishment, your luck in finances, luck in money. And overall having riches in life. What is Ketu? Ketu is the denier supreme. Ketu is a separator, a negator, a reducer. Wherever Ketu is, it makes you work really hard for the results of that house, the results of the sign, results of the planet which it is conjunct with. So when Venus goes into the 10th house from Ketu, your Ketu is saying if you don't work for society, if you don't work to do something large, to give back, then career results won't be easy. Now, just keep this in mind. Venus is in the 10th house from Ketu. So here you want to work, you want to earn money, you are ambitious, you're looking at growth, you're looking for appreciation, you're looking for recognition, you're looking at the corner office, you are looking for growth. Ketu is saying, not so fast. You really work towards it, you really work hard, you stock, then I'll give you. So here, you'll always find, you feel I'm always 1 or 2 steps behind everybody else. Career results come late to me, getting into the right industry comes late to me, getting a right break comes late to me. Even when you are a fellow student of yours, you're passed out together, you'll find that sometimes they seem to be getting the better breaks from you than you. They seem to be getting into better organizations than you. Even if you get a good break initially, when you look back after 10 years, where am I, with respect to some of the others, you'll find that you feel that, okay, some of the others have done much better than you. So there is always a sense of slight dissatisfaction, how much you are able to get out of your work and career. The other thing this does to you is at least one authority figure at work, one superior at work, will not like you, may not recognize you, may not be able to acknowledge your work. So at least in one role at one organization, you will really face a really tough time. It won't be easy to deal with the person. So it's with this, Ketu is trying to teach you to be humble. Have a humility rather than compete with higher ups. Be humble with them. Try to work closer with them. With this placement, I've seen many times people struggle throughout their lives with authority figures also. Sometimes even when they're trying to diligently try and work with superiors, sometimes that recognition doesn't come to them. So this placement is, you work very hard, try to get results and try to be more cordial rather than lick somebody's boots. Be cordial with them, respect them, but focus too much on the results from your work, then you will find automatically the recognition will also come to you. This is a placement where the role may come to you first, the designation may come to you later. So it's like you're not the head of the department, but a lot of responsibilities are given first to you to perform for a year or two. Many of the roles of the head of the department, the person may delegate to you, and only when you perform over 2-3 years, then the role may come to you, that too after grudgingly. So this is not a placement, easy placement for good career growth and getting easier growth. However, if you are able to understand this placement, then here this is all about knowing when to find the right break. Many people will stagnate in a work for long, will not have the wherewithal or have the courage or the motivation to seek a change. This is a career change oriented placement. So don't try to be in one place for too long. 3-4 years is maximum. Change the industry, change the organization, change the brand that you work for, then results will come to you better, because Ketu is a planet of transformation, is the planet of change, is the planet of status quo. So keep changing the status quo every 3-4 years and you'll find better growth coming to you. Now when Ketu is in a placement where Venus is 11th from Ketu. So what is Ketu? Ketu is a planet of denying, separation, reducing, putting in high effort, not making it easy for you to get results of that house, the sign and the planet that Ketu is conjunct with. What is Venus? Venus is the good life, the love life, the intimacy, the attraction, the financial gains, the seduction, the attraction, the nourishment, luck in money, the good life, living it up. But what is the 11th house about? 11th house is the house of your social connection, your social network. This is the house of your friends, the larger societal causes, social responsibilities. But this is also your wishes and desires. This is also about working a large organization, working with masses, doing something for the masses. So when Venus goes into the 11th house from Ketu, the wishes and desires that you have in various areas of your life, Ketu will deny you at least one, sometimes even 2 or 3. But it will deny you one. So firstly, the social life that you want, many people want to have very good friends in very high places, living it up. You want to be in the best of circles, social circles. but those social circles won't come easy to you. I found sometimes very, very rich people, they can easily hang out with people who are very accomplished, join clubs where other people, the so-and-so of the world or of that, that place or the location come, hang out. You have various big clubs in various cities where the rich and the famous come and hang out. You may have sometimes even the ability to be there, but you seem to be a little aloof. So somehow Ketu keeps you away from the social life. Or sometimes you want to be in those clubs. You may also have the wherewithal, but people try to keep some distance from you. Something about you, either you come out too obnoxious or you come across as too self-glorifying. Something about you is different. Sometimes you may be very different from them, from the social strata. I have found somebody who was in a different country. So the person also faced some racial challenges because they didn't feel amongst the local people there. They joined a club, they had money and they thought I will hang around. So they had to work really, really, really hard. So you have to be more giving, you have to be more humble from your social connections so that you get more success out of it. Yeah, also a lot of people who do very well are the people who are working for large social causes without thinking too much about themselves. So people who run NGOs to do something for the society, give back to society, they do very well because they are more giving here. Then Ketu gives you the recognition, gives you the appreciation, gives you the fame. And the money follows also. So this is surely a placement where friendships are not easy. At least one or two friends may also not support you when you really need them. You feel that these two or three are my best friends. But in the time of real need, one of them will surely not stand up for you, not support you in the same way, and you'll be really heartbroken in that. So be very careful in your social connections. Be very careful in your friendships. This is also placement sometime where you fall in love with a friend. But Ketu is the denier. So at least one relationship with a friend who started off with a friend, later on you became friends with benefits or whatever, that will be denied to you, that is not given to you. So at least one transformation, one upheaval, one heartbreak from somebody in the social life, somebody in the love life comes to you before you get results. However, because 11th house is also the house of your wishes and desires come true, all your wishes and desires may come true, but very late in life, after really struggling, after really working hard, after really doing a lot for all the others. But when it comes to you, nothing else can match that success. Now, when Ketu is in the 12th house, when Venus is in the 12th house from Ketu, which means Ketu is in the 2nd house from Venus now. Now, what this does is, because the 12th house is the house of spirituality, losses, waste and excess, also foreign lands, individual work rather than teamwork, working in solitude, working in isolation, working for hospitals, clinics, working for MNCs. So this result will come to you when Venus is in the 12th from Ketu. Now remember this, Venus does very well in the natural 12th house in the Kalpurush Kundi. In fact, Venus gets exalted. So when Venus goes into any house which is 12th house from a planet, results connected to that planet, Venus gives you good gains if you are able to respect the characteristic, the personality of the planet. So Venus is 12th from, for example, from Moon, then through your care, your affection, your support, you will be able to get more gains. But if Venus is 12th from Ketu, Ketu says that you late or later, others first. So it gives you truly exalted results when you're thinking of society, larger society, when you're thinking, I don't really care about what I get or not. I'm going to do for others. I'm going to live for others. This life is for others. I'm going to create optimism. I'm going to create motivation. I'm to do something great. This is the placement where people get such huge success, astounding success. Because, for example, if you're a performer, you are an artist, you want to give the best work to the world. So you're looking at that rather than making money. You say, I want to give the best to the world. I want to be a rapper who will bring in this change, this perspective and all. And through that, you make a lot of gains because you're not looking at success. You are just trying to do the best work. But people recognize that work and people give you lots of love, affection, money and fame. Everything comes true because remember, Venus is in the 12th house. From Ketu means putting in the work for others. But you get exalted results. This is also placement where if you try to live it up too much, if you get success, all the money can vanish. I've seen people who have had so much money, but they lived it up so much spend or splurge money so much that they are left with almost nothing also. So this is also placement where you need to be careful about that. This is also placement sometimes you are just chasing bed pleasures initially. You're not truly looking for the love or romance or to settle down. You just want to be with somebody at any time. Okay, I want to have a girlfriend or a boyfriend. So you're just bidding your time before you finding the right person. If this person proves to be a right person, fair enough. If not, I'll find somebody else. So this is surely a placement where you may get a lot of love, intimacy, romance also, but the right partner may not come easily to you or may come much later to your life or after a lot of breaks up also. Why? Because you're not looking at being with somebody long term, you're not looking at stability, or you're not looking at other person's needs also, which Ketu says. So if you're getting in the relationship, be careful about how much is your aspiration to get from the person. Always also try to play the balance. The other thing this does is also makes you very spiritual. I've seen a lot of people who want to be very spiritual. So they will join some ashrama, but they'll donate a lot of money also to that ashrama. This is also a placement where you go in MNCs, but you work on your own. You're working in a hospital or clinic or some multinational corporation or a foreign company, but generally you're working on your own and you find yourself a little secluded also. So Ketu is denying you the partnership aspect of Venus also being with somebody also. But at the same time, this can be one of the placements of getting moksha, where you are trying to give back to society almost everything. In your love life, you're trying to give the best, so be the best partner to your partner. In society, you're trying to be the best worker, trying to give best to them. In your money, you're trying to give almost everything off when you're no more. Even in your life, you're being very, very charitable. If you do this, then I don't know whether there is no guarantee of moksha, because I don't know everyone who has, lots of people who have got moksha. There is no guarantee to know that. But surely the Shastras say you have the biggest crack at moksha, at salvation, when you truly understand Venus's 12th placement from Ketu. So friends, now that we have seen how Venus in 12 different houses from Ketu will give you different results, also do look at in your horoscope which house Venus is placed on Ketu, and also what doshas it is in, what yogas it is in, what are the aspects, what are the other placements, what are the dignity, because that will also bring in its own flavor. So friends, like this video, share this video, and if you're looking for a personal consultation for me, please reach out to me at the link given below. Until some other time with some other video, this is your friend astrologer and guide Irfan signing off.